now the latest on October 8th around the wide world of tropics. Here's your tropical weather bulletin. The latest around the world sees only one named storm active, and it's Typhoon Hagibis coming off its super typhoon peak earlier on the 7th. We've seen 70 storms so far around the world. It's day 281. In the Atlantic, we now have an Invest 91L, which could become a weak cyclone in the next few days, day 129 of Atlantic hurricane season. In the Eastern Pacific, day 146, and it's all quiet now, no systems active in the basin at all. In the Western Pacific, Hagibis is the only thing that's still going on in the basin, but I think that's quite enough to be keeping us occupied for the time being. And in the Southern Hemisphere, there are no storms active here at this point. It's all quiet here as well. So the headline obviously is Typhoon Hagibis, which we're putting at 145 miles per hour and a pressure of 911 millibars, coming off of its extraordinary peak intensity yesterday. 612 miles from Iwo Jima, 16.9 north, 143.8 east. Expected to re-intensify, probably to Category 5 status, before gradually weakening again by the middle and late part of the week, passing west of Iwo Jima, east of the Daito Islands now we're expecting, and then towards the coast of Japan, where it could still strike as a significant typhoon, but at the minute Category 1 is on the forecast for landfall due to fairly low sea surface temperatures near the coast. This is a wind shear graphic for Invest 91L at this point. Wind shear is still rather high at the moment, but, well, maybe there'll be a chance for it. The National Hurricane Center giving it a moderate chance of development in the next 5 days. So it bears watching, and whether it's actually going to be a tropical cyclone or not, that also remains to be seen. Here's the wide shot. You can see the system there towards the top of your screen. The whole view of the North Atlantic right now. You can see a few other disturbances further west. You've got a train of thunderstorms extending from the Western Caribbean up towards Florida and the Bahamas, and a frontal system moving across the United States. So quite a busy picture there further west. Looking into the Gulf of Mexico itself, you can see all of those thunderstorms and convection blowing up over parts of Cuba and indeed over the Yucatan. The Eastern Pacific, very quiet at this point. I think you can still make out the remnants of Invest 95E. It was a nothing in the end. It did briefly have tropical storm force winds, but apart from that, the Eastern Pacific is having a very quiet spell at this point in time, and we're not a million miles away from the end of the season over here. There's probably not going to be that many more storms. In the Western Pacific, quite clear on the screen, is Typhoon Hagibis. Probably just a temporary weakening phase at the moment, down to 145 miles an hour. It has been doing some restructuring. We'll probably see a larger eye start to appear pretty soon. But its peak intensity as it moved through the Mariana Islands was very remarkable. 180 miles per hour we put the peak at. The Australia and South Pacific region is fairly quiet here. A few thunderstorms, a line extending along Papua New Guinea and the Solomon Islands, and a few disturbances further to the southeast as well. The Indian Ocean, rather populated with thunderstorms during the day today over parts of India, but over the sea areas things looking rather quiet still. Again here, nothing tropical on the cards. Sea surface temperatures in the Eastern Pacific, maybe a slight recovery actually, 30 degrees generally along the coast of Mexico, but not many pockets of it. Caribbean and the Gulf cooling down just a little bit, around 29 to 30 degrees Celsius, still very warm for a potential tropical cyclone to form there later on, maybe, who knows. Further east, the cool trail is warming up a little bit again after Lorenzo, but still a big hit on those temperatures, down to about 26, 27. The Indian Ocean, warm, especially the Bay of Bengal, 30 degrees in some places. And where Hagibis was, it pretty much went over the warmest point of the Western Pacific in the last few days, and sea surface temperatures will start to cool down a little bit now. So you can see how close it passed to that island earlier on today. The Northern Mariana Islands saw the brunt of this storm, the eye passing just 3 miles south there. Saipan was still around 80 miles away from the storm itself, and Guam, the eye rather, and Guam was around 150 to 200 miles away. Still probably received some tropical storm force winds. The wind field is expanding at this time, and the storm beginning to move away. So here we are on October the 8th then. Whirlwind of a season, hasn't it been? The Atlantic, the next name is Melissa. In the Eastern Pacific, we're looking out for Octave. In the Central Pacific, the next name on the list is Ima. In the Western Pacific, we're looking out now, after Hagibis at least, we'll be looking out for Neoguri, and in the North Indian Ocean on list 8, it's Kiyar. You can find Force 13's outlets, the website force13.com with the latest. You can also find our YouTube page, search Force 13 all in text, and subscribe if you haven't so far. And you can find us on Facebook and Twitter if you'd like to get in touch with us on there or interact with any of our content. That's all for now. We'll be back with another tropical weather bulletin tomorrow. You can also help the project become even better by becoming a patron. You can see more information about all the benefits involved by visiting patreon.com/force13. With a special thanks to these people for being our most valued patrons this month. You can also check out our growing merch store so you can show Force 13's colours wherever you go. You can also find a link to our Discord server underneath this video in the description.